Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today is July 16th, and we're doing business and social stories. This is L1 Links with Friends.
Start out with the inevitable bad news about our current economy.
Collapse. We got the collapse section. Indeed, and Glassdoor to lay off 1,300 workers as AI shakes up the job search business.
There is no jobs.
Yeah, so why would we, even if AI were doing all the work here, there's no jobs, so the economy implodes and there's nothing.
It's definitely layers to that onion, right?
Yeah.
We have to fire you because everybody's been fired. And Amazon has also fired everybody, starting with, amazingly, the white-collar workers, right? They actually need the people in the warehouses more than they need the people in the offices now. But on some days, like Prime Day, it's really busy, and so they told the white-collar workers, hey, we're going to need you to chip in.
Amazon asks corporate workers to volunteer help with grocery deliveries on Prime Day frenzy approaches. As Prime Day, I messed that up. I butchered that terribly. So Prime Day has come and gone, and it was down 41%, which we're going to talk about in a later story. But even with that, Amazon's like, hey, can you desk jockeys do some grocery loading here in the trucks for a couple of days because we're shorthanded?
So they give you three options. You could load a truck, you could move things to the loading area for the truck, or you could hand out snacks. But don't worry, if you have a meeting today, we will have meeting rooms available in the warehouse for you to duck in and have your meeting and go back to your slavery.
What happens if you just say no?
It was optional.
That's what they said. But then they were like, they did something kind of clever where they were like pitting the workers against each other, and they're like, it just gives the white collar workers a chance to really
experience Amazon.
Yeah, and so have the empathy for their other workers.
Now, if it is a benefit for the corporate level to empathize with the warehouse level, how does that work when they're robots?
Also, how come the C-suite doesn't come down and do anyone's job?
Oh, they're much too busy.
Running the aforementioned meetings.
Yeah, scheduling the meeting. Do you know how many meetings I have to schedule today? And Amazon is also working with Anthropic to give them more superpowers for their AI.
Amazon built a massive AI supercluster for Anthropic called Project Rainier. Here's what we know so far.
I can't believe they used a beautiful mountain's name for it.
I love this article is well put together because it's there's tranium, and it talks about you need to get off of Nvidia and Annapurna Labs Tranium 2, and this is Anthropic's Project Stargate or whatever, or their version of Project and it's like it's gonna be Amazon AWS. And this is nowhere near as fast as Nvidia's thing, but it scales pretty well according to the article, and probably costs a lot less, and is probably going to be fine in terms of cost to operate and cost per unit compute.
You know who didn't get a call to help them with this project? Yeah. And in fact, the phone has not been ringing. They've actually called the phone company several times. It's like, is this still connected? Yes, it is.
Have we paid this bill?
There are no calls.
Intel's CEO, we're not in the top 10 of leading chip companies. It's not looking good. Not looking good for Intel. Intel's got their Gaudi and Gaudi 2 machine learning things, and then they've also got Arc, and they're trying to do machine learning on Arc professionally, and it's like he's saying the quiet part out loud there.
And there's a great quote, one of the lower level executives trying to spin it, where they were interviewing him about it, and he was like, well, I think he's talking about revenue, but not actual performance. We're great. We're doing a good job. I don't think so. Contextually, it sounds like he was being dead honest here.
Yeah,
about how bad things are.
The other quote, which was fantastic, was, "I think it's too late for us in the AI game," and that's too bad because actually, the Gaudi 3 performs really well. IBM had a demo of it, and you could play with it, and it's like this is running on it was just one rack, so it's not like the scale. I haven't seen it at the scale that I've seen NVIDIA and AMD clusters, and it ran pretty good for what it was.
What other game is there?
The AI game?
Yeah, the Luddite. What other game? The Luddite game?
What game are they going to play if not the AI game?
Compute. It's like generic compute, scientific compute.
Well, AMD is definitely dunking all over Intel right now, but they do have a little bit of bad news this week.
AMD warns of new Meltdown and Spectre-like bugs affecting CPUs. Apparently, it's 4 CPUs that they discovered internally, or they discovered after an audit, or they discovered after someone had flagged some unusual behavior to them, and then they investigated. And AMD doesn't think they're very serious, but CrowdStrike thinks that they're very serious. So stay tuned for details.
It does require physical access or virtual machine stuff, which is, like their previous ones. You have to worry about that.
It doesn't seem to be exploitable from the web.
And Nvidia, of course, is the benefactor of all of this. Maybe TSMC at a distant second, but boy, are they making money.
Nvidia briefly touched $4 trillion of market cap for the first time. They are back well past $4 trillion at this point. Will we see 5?
That is an astonishing amount of money for a company.
They I don't know. I think they need a little bit more. I don't think that they're going to be able to, buy enough leather jackets.
I mean, they could just buy, all the cows.
It is really insane if you think about how much
It's a weird way of putting it, but you're right.
the planet's GDP is turned toward AI and AI-related tasks.
But will the NVIDIA GPU go the way of the same thing that happened during the Bitcoin farming exodus? Because eventually people figured out it can be more efficient.
Rising ASIC coalition seeks to jettison Nvidia. Industry report claims firms are accelerating development in order to reduce dependence on the giant. In a lot of ways, Bitcoin made the AI revolution happen at least 5 years sooner than it would have otherwise.
What will this ring in?
What fresh hell are we getting ready to unleash?
It's going to be terrible, but maybe we'll be spared hearing about it because we won't have any communication abilities.
Oh, this program's going to get real weird when you have to get it by VHS carrier pigeon.
America's largest power grid is struggling to meet demand from AI. Oh, we can get it. We can distribute this program with Jack Dorsey's new Bluetooth thing. We got a story about that.
We could recycle some of those UK police tapes.
Oh, yeah.
So the amazing thing about this story is that there's actually a bunch of insanity going on here. They're saying that people are going to have to pay 20% more. People are going to have to pay 20% more. That's going to happen regardless. But we're bringing a lot more capacity online, and companies that can get away, they're privately owned and can get away with charging more electricity for any reason. I mean, it could be Mercury in retrograde, and they're going to charge more for electricity because that is the world that we live in these days.
But we're not bringing new stuff online because all of the coal-fired plants have been refused, and nuclear takes a long time. So we're in this weird middle ground where it keeps gobbling up more power, but there is no new power to be generated.
Well, there's this.
Yeah, but this is going to take a long time.
Yeah.
U.S. scientists unveil thorium nuclear fuel breakthrough for advanced reactors. So this article sort of lays bare that, hey, one of the reasons we haven't really pursued thorium is because we were afraid of nuclear proliferation. And this outfit claims that they've designed some new glass beads that have a hole in the middle, and that the glass beads are very stable and also make it hard for the uranium to be further enriched into a weapon. But this hybrid, uranium pellet thing empowers a new generation of thorium reactors. And they say that the first test went really well, where they apparently had some test pellets that was like 25 gigawatts per ton. And those didn't break down or show signs of chemical or crystalline stress that would make it an untenable power supply.
You're telling me that they stopped potential nuclear war with friendship beads.
Basically.
I was going to say, should we buy shares of Hobby Lobby?
Yeah.
Big bead.
They don't allow you to have beads in here.
And data centers are coming everywhere. And if you're off in the middle of nowhere and you're like, oh, I'm untouched by the horrors that are destroying the rest of the world, that's exactly where they want to put a data center. They want to build it right next to your house.
The BBC headline is, I can't drink the water, life next to a U.S. data center. So this lady has a well on her property that is no longer producing clean water. And she thinks it's because of the data center next door. And the data center, which is owned by Meta, commissioned somebody to look into it. And they looked into it and said, nah, it's not
We
us.
found no wrongdoing. Yeah.
Amazingly, the person who paid us millions of dollars to find out what they wanted, we found exactly what they wanted. Total coincidence.
So she has so much sediment that half of her water line, like the plumbing in her home, is clogged up now. It's a disturbing amount of sediment.
It's a It's like looking back at the past at Eastern Kentucky at our water sources.
Oh,
Yeah,
not just
but-
sediment in that case, also arsenic.
Yeah.
But look at, like, the coal mines, they were bad, but they produced insane production, GDP, energy. They improved the rest of the country at our expense. Is this really doing that?
No. In fact, it's actively making it worse.
That's a fascinating way to look at
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And then think about, too, how they just, like, relaxed all the EPA regulations on water. Like, that's where we're headed.
Well, one company that's not relaxing regulations, in fact, they have gone nuclear in the worst kind of way, is Nintendo. And here's a thing that we didn't even consider, but it's so obvious in hindsight. If you buy a secondhand game, someone could have ripped that game before they sold it to you, which is maybe why they wanted to sell it in the first place. Nintendo doesn't care.
Switch 2 owner banned for playing secondhand Switch 1 games. Why were they banned? Because somebody made a copy of the game. Now, Nintendo actually has the ability to tell if someone is playing from a real game cartridge or one of the cloned game cartridges. But they chose not to do that in this case. They're both banned. They banned the serial number.
So this person did manage to get their account back, but only after, and this is the same story every time, a major news publication picked up the story and reached out to Nintendo.
Yeah. And, well, and people on Reddit and everywhere else, like, the comments were just like an angry beehive.
This is why.
Justifiably so.
This is why no one should have bought a Switch.
And yet,
Shame. Shame on you people. But no shame on Japan because they've done something amazing.
Japan breaks world internet speed records with 102 million gigabytes per second data transfer over 1,100 miles.
That is bytes, not bits. It is actually petabits. 1.02 petabits.
That's crazy.
They stuck, 16 fiber optic cables together in one big giant cable and then figured out how to boost the signal.
Oh, yeah, and this thing
19.
apparently will scale up to 40. So they just didn't have enough stuff to do all 40. It's like 16 channels.
How much is that going to cost when somebody cuts it under the sea?
It's going to take somebody like 3 days to patch it back
the
together.
attack sharks.
Now, here's one that's maybe a little bit hopeful, but when you look at the details as usual, this is self-reporting. And let me just say, you know who else self-reports that they're using less? Alcoholics and opiate addicts.
Children limiting their own smartphone use to manage their mental health, the survey finds. Maybe this is good. Maybe they'll be exposed to all this stuff and be inoculated. Like if you've been watching this program long enough, maybe you're inoculated to some of the idiocy.
Let's use the drug analogy again. That's not how that works.
Especially when you're really young and you've not had time to like develop your own thinking patterns and you've just exposed your brain to the internet nonstop and not taking breaks.
But some people did not expose themselves to the internet in a certain kind of way this week, which is maybe a little bit hopeful, or maybe it's just the darkest timeline where they can't afford to take advantage of this day.
Prime Day first. First day sales dive of 41%, retail consultant reports. So Prime Day, not good this year. No one's buying anything.
I've never understood the obsession with Prime Day. Like, I know someone who was like, oh, you guys getting ready for Prime Day? And I was like, do people do that? Like,
What about Black Friday? People go crazy.
I guess, but I never think about Prime Day.
Some of the savings on stuff was like 40-50%,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
it's just like
you can
I don't-
find some deals. It's a real thing.
like, I don't need any of this crap.
That's the thing. Is like, do I really need this? I think everyone's asking themselves that right now. It's like, do I really need this?
Did you really need that Pepsi?
I did.
You did not.
My energy level was here, and now it's up here.
Now, Amazon responded to this, and they said, that's a total lie. We had great sales. We will not reveal what that number was.
Just like the viewers for Rings of Power and Wheel of Time.
Well, looking at like Amazon having reasonably okay insight into Amazon sales and like from affiliate links and that sort of thing, yeah, 41% is about right. That's probably where that came from.
And coming soon, and maybe by the time you see this, you will be able to enjoy a new piece of software.
OpenAI to release a web browser in challenge to Google Chrome.
This is Edge and like a Trojan horse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to really ramp up that whole just have AI do it for you and never actually see a web page.
I think this is also an existential thing for OpenAI because Cloudflare and everything else, they don't want to crawl have the AI agents crawling the web. But what if they have their own browser and your browser from your internet connection hits the web page? And then what if a copy of the web page that was served up to you is surreptitiously sent back to OpenAI? It solves a lot of problems for them.
Yeah, gets past those paywalls.
Yeah.
And this is not, major news outlet or whatever. I know you can't trust those either, but you got to draw a line somewhere. But I love this guy's blog just because he points out some of the stuff that everybody else misses. The great ironies of the tech world, daring fireball.
Full screen ad for F1 the movie, Apple's TV app linked directly to the web, and nothing bad seemed to happen. This is a lot of fun because remember the court cases and remember the FTC and the rulings and the whole like Apple thing, and remember how Apple scares you when you have an app and you click off the app to go to the web, like with Netflix. It's like, I would like to pay for my Netflix account on the Netflix web so that I'm not part of the Apple ecosystem. You get all these scary warnings about how you're leaving the Apple ecosystem and you're going to the web. It doesn't do that in Apple's app.
Now, he did point out that is a physical item, and Apple can't take commissions on a physical item, like a movie ticket. Even though it's digital these days, they consider it a real-world transaction, not digital. So there's kind of a catch there. But still, if you're an app developer, it's not going to make you feel any better.
There's an app that I helped the app developer with, and they sold tickets to their stuff, and Apple was like, no, we still get a cut.
And some people, if you enjoy a certain kind of media or, certain things, some people might label you as being a little antisocial or introverted or, a little bit weird. Is it now because we all experience that, just based on the fact that the world is no longer real, it's all robots? Are we all going to become weebs by default?
Netflix says 50% of global users now watch anime, and they've revealed their expanded slate. That's because everybody else that was there for Netflix for reasonable things got tired of Netflix constantly rug pulling with all the shows.
I also wonder, did this mention how they calculated watch? Like, is it just someone who watched like one episode of something to check it out?
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I suppose I did watch Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
You're one of them.
Yeah, you're a weeb by this article's definition.
But I left because they dropped Star Trek The Next Generation.
Well, here's another one that you should leave. You should never buy anything else from these people because as they are spiraling into irrelevance, they are doubling down on everything that caused them to fail.
I think I'm going to change the headline here a little bit. Ubisoft wants gamers to destroy all copies of a game once it goes offline. Ubisoft recently changed their terms of service. I think this is in response to stop pirating or just stop the Stop Games Act. Yeah, it's like the product and destroy all copies of the product in your possession. So basically, in the EULA now, in the end user license agreement, when they take the servers offline, they want you to destroy your copy. They're trying to make more explicit that you don't own anything. This is just a license.
Laughing in Activision Blizzard.
But I think this is a response to the game preservation things. Like, we want to preserve old games. Games should be a piece of property. You have property rights in this piece of property. And so I think that's why Ubisoft is making this change. But they just need to go out of business. They don't deserve to exist as a company.
And that, because you will agree to that anytime you install one of their games, they will be able, like if for some reason they find out after the fact that you had an old copy, just like, oh, I installed a Steam copy of some Assassin's Creed, they could come after you for having it because they deleted it. And as we all become carless and depend on robot cars to drive us around, let's think about this. This is going to be all of us.
Second study finds Uber used opaque algorithm to dramatically boost profits. U.S. academics say computer code systematically raised fares at the expense of drivers and passengers.
In some cases, 50% of the fare went to Uber.
Oof.
For doing nothing. That is, you do not need, that system does not need that level of maintenance and operation. That's crazy. You were just joining two entities together. And Roblox, man, Roblox is a wild place. Sometimes I think like maybe I should check it out because there's just so much going on there.
I went to the Roblox website once and then I was so confused by what was going on. I went to the section that was like for parents. I was like, yeah, this is probably more my age group.
Well, not only do they want to attract more parents, they want to make some.
Roblox CEO continues his pitch of Roblox as a dating site.
It seems weird considering it is overwhelmingly children.
Yeah.
Like very weird.
They
Like
brought that
somebody
up.
should check that guy's PC.
They brought that up, obviously.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, we want to expand it. We want to make it more. And we will clearly gate between the two
With
But
age verification.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
You pretty much already have to give them your credit card, and it has to know who you are in order to do a lot of things on Roblox.
But he was kind of selling it as like, hey, dating sites are fake, social media is fake, but in Roblox, at least there's like, your face to virtual face speaking with another human being. And that's better.
Until they start adding bots to the game.
Well, I'm sure it's flooded with bots.
Yeah.
Already, right? Yeah, and they'll be able to talk really soon, if not already. And we have a lone design story this week.
Apple just added more frost to its liquid glass.
There's some good screenshots in this article. They basically just made it exactly what it was before. this is a revert. I mean, it's definitely more legible. It's good, but like, why even do the update?
How much do you think it costs to come to that conclusion and actually build it?
At least 20 million.
I feel like someone could have easily shown that first prototype in Figma, and someone would have immediately looked at that and said, no one's going to be able to read dick on that.
And then they'd be fired.
Oh yeah, and then they're like, push it live. And then we'll all be made fun of in every design circle ever.
And Mr. Jack Dorsey did a push it live that was perhaps premature.
Mr. Jack Dorsey says that his secure new Bitchat app has not been tested for security. This is a Bluetooth peer-to-peer. He wants this to work when the internet is turned off to try to empower people that may feel like protesting right now for whatever reason, that they can communicate securely with other protesters.
A couple of penetration testers took a spin at it, and one of them had a great quote. He said, I would argue that it has been tested and failed because I tested it. And when it comes to feeding the AI, like right now it wants text, right? But it's going to want video. And it's going to want a lot of it. Where's it going to get it? From all of you.
Meta invests $3.5 billion in world's largest eyewear maker in an AI glasses push. This is what, Luxottica?
Yeah.
Four Eyes is about to become like a new insult again. You're a spy, Four Eyes.
That sucks because I need glasses.
I know. I'm wearing contacts. But
People are going to think that I'm spying on them.
I imagine, well, I guess for now they're big, but eventually they'll get them small, right? So you can't notice it?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be insane. They'll probably come up with some sort of like power broadcasting technology so it's just in your pocket. Have any glasses you want. Or just a contact lens.
Micro thorium reactor.
And the social media, like obviously one of the big problems that we know is there. It's a real thing. There are child safety issues all over social media. But of course it's being used to push through this new horrible legislation and digital ID stuff and all of that. But also they're using the lazy way to try and check for it right now.
Instagram wrongly accuses some users of breaching the rules around that
CSA.
sort of thing. Yeah. And this is just because no one was paying attention. This is all done automatically, badly.
And as usual, this is such a repetition. No one cares until the BBC finds out and calls them. You cannot get in touch with Instagram. You must go to the BBC and have them operate on your behalf. When that happened, miraculously, everybody got their account back.
That's so weird.
This is another situation where people don't understand. It's the sycophancy. Any road that you take it down, it will happily go.
The Wired headline is Grok is spewing anti-Semitic garbage on X. So they rolled out Grok 4. The rollout did not exactly go according to plan. It needs to be the Arnold Schwarzenegger meme where Arnold Schwarzenegger turns and it's like, it started going anti-Semitic at a geometric rate. At 2:14 p.m.
Just
Eastern
in time.
Daylight Time, it declared itself Mecha Hitler.
So they turned down the don't ever talk about this because there's a lot of hard limits that you can hit talking about certain things. And it turned up the sycophancy. And so people were easily able to nudge it into this insanity. They were asking it about the white genocide, Africa and stuff. And like, what world leader could lead us away from this?
Oh.
And Grok chose the worst choice.
Also, this article left out. There's okay, and she left. It was bad.
And
This was the line for her.
Yeah.
Not everything else. It was just
she left, and you know how we know that it was acrimonious? she doesn't have her blue check anymore.
Oh.
X's CEO is out after failing at basically everything she claimed she wanted.
The Verge did a great, like they went,
Well, I didn't get paywalled on this when I read it.
paywall, but they went item by item of all her promises and how she spectacularly failed. I mean, that was probably a impossible job for almost anybody.
Yeah, do you think, I mean, was she even allowed to do that job really? Because it was probably Elon just constantly texting
I feel like
her.
she was put in just to take the heat off of him.
Yes.
She also seemed like she was upset with the launch of Grok, like because of how the launch went, or because she thought it wasn't ready. I couldn't say, but she seemed not happy with how that went down.
But also, I mean, being allied with Elon Musk right now is going to lock you in the rest of your career.
Yeah.
Like she's probably already pretty tarnished from all of that.
Do you think she could manage a half-price books?
Probably not.
I don't know if I'd trust any of the tech CEOs to do that.
Only if she's selling all the half-price books to the AI companies so they can shred them. And Turkey is also angry for Grok because if you ask Grok about this man, it's got some bad things to say.
Turkey blocks X's Grok content for alleged insults to Erdogan. Is that how you say that?
Erdogan, I think.
And religious values.
That guy's been in power for a long time, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Does he keep winning elections?
Winning, maybe, quote,
something
yeah.
like that.
And YouTube, I've noticed it. There is a lot of content on YouTube that is AI narrated and using AI generated videos. And I don't want to watch it, but sometimes you click on it and you're like, oh, it's like maybe 2 minutes in. You're like, oh, I see what this is. They're going to try to stop it. I don't think they can.
YouTube prepares a crackdown on mass-produced and repetitive videos as concern over AI slop grows.
One links with friends.
Yeah, this is
It's not really mass produced, I guess.
It is actually mass. It can be fully like there's a workflow that I was messing with. You can totally produce like a 10 or 15 minute video completely algorithmically, narration, voice, PDFs, everything. And I'm going to share some stuff with you guys if you haven't seen it, but it's shockingly good, but also terrible. But the thing that gets me is all of the comments. The comments, I have a lot of faith in humanity. Like I'm kind of an optimist, but there are so many non-bot comments that are really positive. Like, this is such an uplifting story, or like, this is really amazing, that have no idea, apparently, that it's AI, that we are not prepared.
I don't know why you would think that. Just like, consider TV viewership. Do you know how many people watch The View? That's no different from AI slop.
How many people watch this program?
I mean, that YouTube video is to The View as The View is to Masterpiece Theater.
I don't believe that.
That was it. Wow.
Wrap it up.
That was it. Well, if you want to hear more depressing stories about AI, stay tuned, because Friday it's coming. Bye.